Hello. Podcast episode 14 of the Many Worlds Tavern podcast. I'm Chris Porto. I'm here with Catherine and Andrew. Hello, guys.
Hi.
On a bombshell. It is Catherine's last day in the roastery.
It is.
Bum, bum, bum.
That's why we're drinking.
Exactly.
It was Andrew's idea.
It was. So, yes, unhappy hour for Catherine. She's on to cool stuff. We'll see. Hopefully it's cool stuff. But, yeah, she'll still be doing some community management, some social media. Yeah, hopefully some conventions if you guys go to conventions. But, yeah, last day here. How do you feel?
I feel like if I think about it too much, I'll just start crying.
Okay, let's move on. Cool. Yeah, that'll be the main topic, but we can talk about good Catherine memories, if there are any.
I mean, I could make some up.
Yeah. But we can go some announcements on Many Worlds or just a summary of what's been going on. And then, yeah, go from there. So we just got back from PAX East, which was in Boston.
It was cold.
Fast.
I almost feel like I'm still tired.
Yeah. I fell asleep last night at 9:30.
I'm just like a grown adult with children, so I think I'm just always
Perpetual.
tired. So it was just like being tired for another reason. But yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, learned a lot of new stuff.
Yeah.
We had somebody drive the stuff up, which was a different experience compared to, well, yeah, I guess Andrew dealt with most of
Yeah.
the truck issues.
Well, Mac dealt with most of it.
Well, that's fair.
I think if it had all gone according to plan, it would have been easier. But it didn't.
Yeah, the truck broke down less than a day out from Boston.
Less than like 30 minutes from Boston. Oops.
Truck broke down.
They're compostable.
Yeah. Truck broke down like 8 minutes from Mac's house where he was planning on spending the night.
Yeah.
And he was stuck there for a couple hours just waiting on a tow truck. He ended up getting a ride home with a police officer who just happened to stop by.
Mm-hmm.
Then the next day I was on the plane trying to communicate with support to get another truck booked. So I landed, grabbed a truck, went and picked up Mac, switched all of our cargo from one truck to the other, and then came to meet you guys who were apparently already drunk by the time we got to the convention
No
center.
one was drunk. I was a little buzzed.
It was the waiter's fault.
It was.
She gave me a pour for wine, and it was literally 3 glasses of wine. So.
Yeah.
And
then Nadia
I wasn't even angry.
Nadia made me finish
I just
her
felt
drink.
like I had taught you guys really well and was more surprised that you actually admitted it to me. So I was okay with it. It did take you a while to admit it. It was like the next day you were like,
Yeah, I think we had sat down at the restaurant, and then I jokingly was like, "We deserve a glass of wine," because we also almost missed our flight.
we were running, running through the airport that morning.
It got delayed. Did you guys know that?
It did get delayed.
It got delayed. I guess
we were there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it was just a late
but
boarding,
it's definitely Nadia's fault.
yeah,
We're throwing her under the bus on the
she's
record.
not here.
I heard Catherine missed the parking lot exit a couple times, though.
It was once.
It was once.
It was once. But yeah, so we were running through the airport. That was fun. What other crisis? There was something else that. We got there and our electricity wasn't wired at all.
Yeah.
And then I kept wandering from like service to service people, and I was like, "Hey, where's our electricity?" And they were like, "No, they're responsible for it." Then I went to the other people. They're like, "No, they're responsible for it."
Yeah.
And then I went back, and that happened a couple of times. But everything worked out.
We ended up selling
out.
coffee and tea. Yeah, it worked
Yes,
out.
we sold out almost by Saturday night.
Yeah.
So
What do we have left? We had
Bring
like Vernon
more?
Harbor and our chamomile left.
something like that, and some merch, but otherwise
Yeah.
cleaned us out.
Yeah, thank you, people of New England, for supporting us. That was awesome.
Yeah.
It's always really fun to go convention. I mean, almost everything we do is like this, like online. So it's really cool to talk to people. And after every convention, there's more people that are like, "Oh, I heard of you," or "I saw you here," or which is still weird. But
it was incredibly surreal. I was trying to explain to my cousin the feeling of being at a convention like PAX, where like I grew up paying attention
like dreaming
to
to go
conventions
there.
like that, and like I can't wait to go to a PAX South, like RIP. But and then being at a convention and then people being like, "Hey, I'm in the Discord. It's so cool to meet
that's
you.
weird.
Hey, like I saw you guys at PAX Unplugged." You're like, "Hey, I've heard about you guys," or "Hey, I've seen your ads on Instagram," and I was just like, "This is really weird." It's very weird to like be on the flip side of a convention like that, rather than being somebody who's going and just really excited about everything.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible. This has nothing to do with convention, but still the craziest meet and greet to me is the local Houstonian who just showed up at our roastery, who like wanted to pick up their order. It was awesome because they ordered enough where they didn't even pay for shipping, and they're like, "Hey, I just wanted to pick it up, maybe save you guys the cost." And I was like, "Wow, like you're here, you found us." Yeah, we actually exist in the real world. But yeah, it is fun to get that face to face with people for sure.
Yeah. But we survived. We made it back.
We had a lot of fun.
Lots of great. We went out a lot.
Which is unusual compared to Unplugged. We pretty much went out once during Unplugged.
Yeah. I think we were better prepared. I think a lot of more stuff went wrong for PAX East, but we were much better prepared.
Yeah.
Like I didn't feel like I needed to worry. Once I knew that the truck was actually at the convention center, I was like, all right, like that's all that I needed to know. So yeah, it was fun. We had fun in Boston for sure.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. Like BGG to PAX Unplugged was so exponentially different. I don't think I physically could have gone out more than one night at Unplugged. I just was not mentally prepared. We were a little understaffed. Like there were points where we were just like eating, like crouching behind like the pop-ups, and I was just like staring at the floor like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and the funny thing is, you know, East was even busier than Unplugged, but I think, Unplugged was the more exhausting of the two because I don't think we were really prepared for it. Mm-hmm. We didn't know what to expect.
Yeah. But I think, and I think we learned a lot from Unplugged to East about booth setup and just like the little teeny tiny things. And I think we learned a lot about from East to whatever con we wound up doing next. Doing the same thing of just arranging things and what do you want people to look at first and how do we put as much things as possible further out so people, by the time they get to us, we can check you out, have a conversation, give you the tote bag.
Yeah.
So we're not all standing clustered like we were at Unplugged. Because that got pretty crazy.
It did.
Shout out to the Bow food truck. Because we were running on bows.
Shout out to the Boston Convention Center for having food trucks.
Yeah, it was actually, I think I mentioned it before, but the most tired I was at PAX Unplugged was hauling the bag of burritos back to the convention center because we also got Keymaster some lunch that day.
Yeah.
And it was like 50 pounds of burritos.
There was also the day that you guys had me and Antonio carry like the jugs of water.
The jugs of water.
And I think Antonio could carry too because like they're a tall person. And I was like fighting for my life carrying 1 5-gallon jug. And I was like, if I have to go any farther, I'm going to drop this on the floor.
Yeah. It was funny to see you and Nadia carrying stuff because you guys are like perfectly. I was like, oh yeah, they got it. But
yeah, it's easier when everything is scaled to be the same.
Yeah,
that's true.
Cool, we survived. Next con is BGG.
BGG Spring.
BGG Spring. If you're in Dallas, come hang out at BGG Spring.
We're trying to make a guest appearance at Comic Palooza too.
Yes,
one of us might be there here in Houston, but yeah, they previously kind of told us no when we asked if we could have a booth, based on the fact that they don't do food and beverage vendors. But yeah, we'll definitely be in Dallas. The newest member of our team, Mac, will be joining us there. He starts week after next. And yeah, he'll definitely be in Dallas with us.
If you've been at any of the big cons and you've seen a really tall ginger wearing insane blazers,
At the Wormwood booth.
that's him.
Yeah.
That's him. He is the chattiest redhead with the awesomest clothes at the Wormwood booth.
And he always has like one really fun gaming earring. They tend to be like Legos and stuff, like Lego people. Mac is fun.
He's fun. He's
Great
fun.
add to the team.
Yes, so team expanding to add Mac. Catherine's still hanging on
By a thread.
in some ways. And we're also trying to hire one more person. So if you're watching and are interested, we're trying to find somebody who's going to specialize in digital marketing and communications. So on the marketing side, like email and advertising, and then on the communication side, customer service and like wholesale and influencer collabs and stuff like that. So if you are that person, we would love to hear from you. You can email Chris at manyworldstavern.com.
Can you be the new Catherine? Yeah.
You can't.
She has very tiny
But you
shoes
can be
to
the
fill,
next you.
but they're metaphorically large.
They're often
shoes to
tall
fill.
though, high-heeled.
I
Yes,
am-
that's true.
I am wearing children's-sized shoes right now. That is true. And yesterday I did wear my tallest boots, so all of that tracks.
Cool. That's PAX. That's new hire stuff. Treasured Realm. It's the 7th. We sold out on the 5th.
6.
You guys-
It was
Yeah.
yesterday.
Oh,
we had a
6th.
few more
We
yesterday.
upped the quantity to 800
Yeah.
for the first time.
Yeah.
Thinking that it would last us for like at least a week.
I thought it would be maybe 2 weeks. It would last us. We were all wrong.
But here we are. Oh no,
Yeah.
I wanted more.
Chris went in strong. We were at 400 until January, right? And we upped to
Around
500.
there. Yeah.
And then we were at 500 for a couple of months. And Chris was like, "We need to do 1,000." And both Andrew and I were like, "Whoa!" But you were right. We probably could have done 1,000.
We booked coffee for 1,000, except this one coffee for this
Yes.
month. There wasn't enough of it to book for 1,000, so we decided to up to 800, and then it should be 1,000 from here on out.
From here on out. Yeah. This was a really cool, like unique coffee this month. So understandable
That's
that we
awesome.
didn't have as much, but yeah, very, very fun coffee to share.
Also, an incredibly good value for that coffee.
Yeah, I think so.
I bet if you walked into a local coffee shop, you'd probably spend around $30 just for that coffee.
And I think it's kind of fun because, like at the convention, we hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, you have light roast coffee or naturally processed coffee," which is already kind of surprising enough for like a niche brand like ours. So being able to be like, "Oh yeah, this one is a combination of honey and anaerobic honey, and it's like in short supply," and yeah, it's so fun to share that kind of coffee.
It's
I
also
think-
really exciting, like the people who do subscribe to Treasured Realm,
Yeah.
who aren't used to crazy coffees at all.
Yeah.
And like we do get the review every now and then of like, this coffee was too weird for me. Like
That's fair.
that's cool. I'm gonna still keep subscribing, but this one, it was a miss for me.
Yeah.
But like I think that's part of the fun, is like figuring out like, okay, what are the limits of like, I don't like this and I do like this a lot.
I'm definitely hoping nobody puts like heavy creamer and sugar into the into this month's coffee. That'd be kind of crazy.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It would
That'll
be
be so
interesting.
sweet. Yeah.
But cool. So 1,000 next month.
Oh, this month also had 2 item cards in it.
Yeah, those are very cool.
Yeah.
I don't have them in hand.
They go
but
together.
They go together.
Like,
I was about to start singing too, so I'm glad you beat me to it. So I can save the embarrassment for you.
I just read a really long read up of Grease 2 and how it became a cult classic. That's been like my entire thought process for like the past 24 hours, just Grease.
Yeah. Have you seen Grease 2?
Nope.
Okay.
Have you seen a video essay explaining
That's what
Grease
she's
too?
talking
No.
about. Oh, I thought you
It
just
was
said.
it was like a really long read up, just like the evolution of it into a cult classic.
okay.
And I was like, I love a cult classic. And then I went and tried to find it on streaming and I couldn't find it. So I added it to my Letterboxd watch list.
Okay. There
Write a
you
letter.
go.
Chris and I
To
are on
Netflix.
Letterboxd
pretty
if
often
you're curious.
now. Yeah, we can drop our profiles.
Yeah.
Danger.
Cool. That's all the announcements, I think. Recipe of the week, Andrew. What are we drinking?
It's
coffee.
mostly a mojito.
Oh, okay.
It is a mojito, technically, but I did not make it the traditional way at all. Traditional mojito, you put everything in the glass and you muddle everything in the glass, then you pour in your rum and your club soda. I actually did 2 parts of an aged rum, 12-year aged rum instead of a white rum, which is my secret for every for every rum-based drink. I end up getting a good rum, and then 1 part simple and 1 part lime. Muddled a bunch of mint, and I shook it. It's really, again, I broke every mojito rule, I think, but it's pretty awesome.
It's pretty good. Andrew asked me a couple of days ago what my favorite cocktail was, and I was like, I didn't even put together the unhappy hour, and Andrew asking me, I thought it was just out of the blue, and I was like, I don't know. I was like, I like gin cocktails a lot, and blah blah blah. I feel bad asking for mojitos at bars because I know it's so much work, and bartenders always hate you, so I never get them.
And they're never that good, I feel like, at most bars.
Yeah, because
it's a really good drink, but I feel like most people just kind of half-ass it. And
I don't blame them. I would be really mad if somebody ordered a mojito in the middle of a rush on a Friday night. I would be like, no, you're getting a bad drink.
If you've never had aged rum, it's awesome. Because you go and on the shelf, it's in a box. It's in a fancy box. And it says 12 years on there. And you're like, man, this thing's going to be expensive. And then it's $30. And it tastes really good.
Nice.
I mean, obviously, it's double the price of white rum, which you can get for so cheap. But yeah, it's really good upgrade for not a whole lot of money.
It's a good drink.
Okay. Main topic. Favorite Catherine memories.
Oh, I forgot this.
Do you have any favorite Catherine memories?
Well, I was born at a young age.
My favorite cat memory is from the very beginning.
I knew you were going to say this one.
You knew it, yeah. So, Kat was hired not by me at our coffee shop. Mm-hmm. And the first time...
I should not have been hired. I knew nothing.
She really probably shouldn't have ever been hired.
No.
We changed our hiring practices afterwards because of her.
They did change the entire training regimen and programming.
Nobody else who's just a friend with no experience should probably be allowed to work here.
No, it all worked out.
But yeah, no, I typically meet every new barista across the counter. We had met, but the first time we'd actually ever really talked to each other was at our holiday party. But she didn't know who I was.
Nope.
Yeah. Did you actually not know him, or were you just
in retrospect, somebody probably was like, "Hey, that's Andrew. He's in charge of everything." But I didn't internalize that in any capacity. So I was just like, "Okay." And we were at the holiday party. Yeah. And yeah, I should have put 2 and 2 together.
Oh yeah, we started talking, and I forget how I found out really quick she was a nerd. I really don't remember that part, but then I started talking about, have you heard about MWT Tavern? She's like, what are you talking about? And so I started explaining it. And then we got further into the explanation of the brand, and she was basically cut me off. She's like, wait, are you about to mansplain Schrodinger's cat to me? And then I walked away, and she came up to me later and kind of peer pressured me to do shots with her and her friends. Which was probably the first time I'd done a shot in years, because I never do shots.
It was a green tea shot. It's not a real shot.
It had alcohol.
But it was good.
Well, I'm glad you thought so. So that's still my favorite Catherine memory. And I think actually it was pretty soon after I was talking to somebody about Catherine and found out more about her backstory. And I was like, hey, we could actually use somebody who doesn't mind looking at data and thinking from like an economic standpoint for our little business. And yeah, the rest is history.
And then I didn't do anything related to data
That's true.
for the most part.
I mean, do any of us though? We all just kind of.
We go off vibes.
I try to look at the number and make it go higher.
That's
the real goal.
That's data analysis.
Is the number higher than it is last time I looked?
If it isn't, we're in trouble. Let's go.
I think the extent to which Andrew looks at numbers is like he'll check the bank account and be like, it went up. And then sometimes he'll be like, it's lower than I thought it was going to be. And I just like, I'm sitting at my desk and I'm like, yeah.
Hopefully no one on our board is watching this. Right?
Yeah. I'm literally working on the board presentation now.
Yeah.
I'm typing the numbers. The numbers are there.
To be fair, one of the very first things I did was the year-end. I like pulled all of the data.
Yeah.
And did like a little year-end graphical review thing. And then I essentially pretty much did nothing else.
That's true. You did. Thank you for that.
But you did so much more.
Yeah.
We figured out, what you were good at. That's the dream. Is that you get hired for one thing and then actually like fill in a different niche just on base.
What I'm good at is shit posting.
I mean, we had a need.
You're good at convincing people you're a really nice person.
That's true. I have said multiple times.
But I will.
I take a lot of joy in people who initially email us pretty snarkily, and I'm just overly nice to them to the point where they're apologetic and immediately feel bad. And I'm like,
it's like
I won.
Ninja move. I will stand by. I think you are legitimately a nice person, but I know you enjoy being snarky yourself, so I appreciate that you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I think it's more like she's kind, but she's mean.
She's the meanest nice person.
I think it's because of my youngest child.
She had to learn to stick up for herself with two older brothers. And so we trigger her as two older men.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
It was funny when I told Andrew that I got an offer. Andrew kind of mentioned, like, well, I'm excited to hear, like, your unfiltered thoughts of just, like, you telling us what you actually think. And I was like, I pretty much do that already. Sometimes I give myself a pause and I'm like, I don't need to be that aggressive. But, like...
No, it's good.
I'm pretty straight up for the most part.
It's good for all of us to be, straight up, so...
Plus, I'm not very good at hiding my opinion on things.
Really?
I know, crazy, right?
How weird.
So I feel like even if I tried to, like, hide my actual thoughts, it wouldn't go over very well.
There you go. I don't know if I have a specific Catherine memory. I think this last con was really fun. I feel like we talked more than we usually do. We got into a yelling match with Andrew.
I wouldn't call it a yelling match.
It was yelling because the bar was so loud.
We were yelling by default, man. That bar was so incredibly loud.
But it was fun. I had a lot of fun.
We were hoarse from 8 hours of talking to people at PAX, and then we went to a bar and like had to scream at each other.
Yeah.
And like, it was bad. My throat hurt so bad.
I think that's a big thing. And then
yeah, because as soon as I started, for the most part, like, you moved offices, so it was just like very disjointed.
Yeah. But the podcast isn't great. It's been fun to talk movies and stuff with you because
we have very different opinions.
We have different opinions on movies. And I think it's been fun to sneak in the movie talk into the podcast. But can't complain.
When we were in Boston, I looked through Chris's top 50 for his Letterboxd movies, and there were several that I was like, I could make fun of this, but then I saw Chicken Run is on Chris's top 50. And I was like, never mind. I was like, this absolves any other slight that I could have imagined.
It's on every top 50.
I looked for it last weekend to watch with Colby, and I couldn't find it.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Is it on the
so
Criterion collection or?
No, I
It
think
should be.
is it Tubi, like the
Yeah.
streaming service for little kids? It's on
Yeah.
that one, but that's like one of the only ones we don't have.
I think Tubi's free, isn't
I
it?
think there's like a free section on Tubi or something.
I definitely
don't
have
know.
watched weird British comedies on Tubi. Tubi for free.
There you go.
But yeah, Chicken Run's a great movie, and I was like, the fact like this is a top 50 movie. Like absolutely,
Give it another watch and it'll get up there.
it's so good.
I feel like I missed out on something. I swear, I feel like I've seen it. It feels to me like one of those movies maybe I watched on a plane on somebody else's screen. Because I know in my head the general plot,
It's been a long time.
but I definitely don't think I've ever sat down to watch Chicken Run in my memory.
I think I have it on DVD.
I never got it on TV. It was VHS for me.
I'll
don't know if I
try
have
and
a
find
DVD.
it.
Do I have
What
a
about
device
Blu-ray?
that plays DVDs?
If you have Chicken Run on Blu-ray, you're hired. Give us a call. Give us a call. It'll be. That's the best Mini Worlds memory. I had the time we filmed Honey Heist.
That
That was
so much
really,
fun.
really fun. I think that was a really fun Catherine memory. Because I think
I wasn't invited to that one.
Yeah, you were.
surely you were.
You watched it, but no, it was like my group of friends.
Oh, invited to play? Well, that's not on me. That's not
I think I asked Chris, like, do you want to play? And Chris was like, absolutely not. So then I just assumed.
Oh, no, I would
okay.
love to play. I can't trust myself to keep the camera rolling if I play. So
That's fair. We
it
did-
sometimes doesn't work on the podcast. So.
It was really validating to like as we were playing, Chris like laughed out loud a couple of times, and I was like, yeah, we are funny.
Yeah, that's mostly Antonio, honestly.
Yeah,
I put the lampshade. I was losing it, dude.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I wish we had done more actual plays, but
Yeah,
we're
maybe
busy
one
enough
day.
as it is.
Maybe one day. I think that'll be. I don't know. I think there's potential there.
Yeah, it is really interesting. It was like when I started, it was a lot of like, well, can you look at data and can you write D&D stuff? And I did both of those for a little bit and then very quickly pivoted of like, oh, I can do all the little things that like both of them were doing.
That's why it's so incredibly hard to write job definitions for a small business.
Yeah.
I mean, my job's changed so many times
Yeah.
in the past few years. Like you were saying, when you got here, the offices changed, but I've like changed offices like 6 times since we've been here.
Yeah.
And we're always shifting. That's what happens. It's kind of the fun part of being a small business, though.
Yeah. It is fun.
And you're leaving.
No. It's going to
For
be
now.
less fun now.
Yeah, will be.
For now.
Max got to bring it. Max got to bring the fun.
I think he's got that.
Yeah, I think
He'll
it's
bring a
better.
lot of energy.
He will bring a lot of energy.
There have been times when I'll sit like at my desk and just like not speak for like 6 hours. And
It's not my fault. By the way.
there was one time I like looked up at Andrew and said something, and I spoke way louder than normal. I don't remember why. And Andrew jumped because I scared him of how loud I was being. Because I do normally speak really quietly, but like, that was funny. But I think I don't know. Overall,
What was your favorite con we went to? Even if we didn't work it, what's the coolest con so far? Started with Gen Con, right?
Gen Con was
BGG,
a trip.
Unplugged, PAX East.
I think Unplugged. I was exhausted and kind of disassociating through most of it. But I think just like seeing that people were really excited to be at our booth,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was cool.
and it was the first time we had really sold like BGG. We sold out of a few things, but like I think we, over 3 days at BGG or 4 days, whatever it was, we had more sales in one day at PAX than over the entirety of BGG. And Andrew and I were just kind of staring at each other like, is this real life? Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. So I think that in combination with like Antonio got to come, which was super fun.
Yeah.
And just like wandering around, like all of the TTRPG stuff, like video games I love, obviously, and East was really cool, but like
I'll say, and
it was pretty fun.
I don't mean to hate on Gen Con, because I think Gen Con's awesome. It's almost too big.
Yeah. Well,
It's big.
we wandered the floor like 3 days in a row, and I think
And
even
we still were finding stuff.
yeah,
And there's tons of events and tons of side rooms, and
yeah.
yeah, it's huge.
So Gen Con's definitely overwhelming.
But yeah, I felt like PAX was actually, it was still big, but it was more approachable. Much more approachable than Gen Con.
Plus the giant Pikachu like hanging from the ceiling just like made me so happy.
It really did. I was looking right
It
at
was
us all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Unplugged, just like realizing that we were like doing it and doing it well for it being our first large scale convention was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I remember taking the picture. It's like you three up front, and there's like a sea of people. It's like, that is, I don't know. That was a personal milestone of like, whoa,
Yeah,
people are here.
it was insane. I don't think that we really had any way to expect that level of people being excited for us. Because we were just kind of like, oh yeah, like
I mean,
we'll see if we figure it out.
I think we knew how different we were visually, like on average, from the average gaming
Sure.
adjacent company. You know, we got these bright colors, and it's mostly white backdrops, whereas, you know, a lot of gaming stuff is bold colors and black. And we knew we at least were visually different, but then, yeah, I think it's even at PAX East, even more so. It was like people just appreciated the vibes.
Mm-hmm.
And like it has to be like the most unintentional accomplishment I think we did. It was like I didn't expect that ever, for somebody to just come up and compliment. Like it wasn't even about like buying something. It's just like, man, like I really like your vibes. And I was like, wow.
There was the Irish
We
guy
have good vibes.
that stopped us.
Yeah. I need another one.
There's
That's what that means.
There was an Irish guy that stopped out at the booth at BGG. In BGG, like much smaller scale, we had a ton of fun. We got to hang out with a couple of other people that were like really lovely, and like we're still like friends with.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy like was so blown away by the booth, and just like could not like probably like talked to you for like maybe 5-10 minutes just about how excited he was.
Pretty much told my life story.
And he was just like, "Shut the fuck up." That's crazy. It's beautiful. I don't even think he bought anything.
No,
like,
he really.
I was like, you don't have to.
He really took free samples and walked away after giving us a lot of compliments. But I think, yeah, we were okay with it.
Yeah, and like that's kind of what keeps happening at each con. It's just like the amount of people that remark on just how pretty it is, which is largely Andrew's doing. For the most part, you know, you found the artists and then did the coffee art and you designed the booth. Chris and I are just like, more counter space, more brewing things for samples.
Yeah, we made it work together though.
Yeah, it was good. The booths are good. I think they're a good, like, non-insane budget level booth. Like, it's efficient and cute.
Yeah.
And functional.
It's the dream, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not like building things.
Yeah. There's some people that they just like, yeah, they
They're
have
all
wood.
day. They're all day.
They bring wood and make a room.
Yeah, I mean, even like PAX East, like seeing like the Intel booth,
Yeah.
I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like I am not jealous. And I know like a lot of those larger booths were there like on Sunday when PAX doesn't even start until Thursday. And I was like, that's
and they probably hire a crew just to build it.
I mean, there's like in the exhibitor manual, there's like a whole section of like third-party contractors and like how you have to approve them through the convention and all of that. And I was like, well, I'm glad we don't have to do that. That's crazy.
I bet Intel made $0 off of that booth too.
But I don't know. Hearts and minds.
I did. Yeah, I don't think I walked around the booth at all. I think the only times I stopped at the booth were to sit down in their cushioned seats because I wanted to sit.
Yeah.
And I was watching like the build workshops, which were cool.
Yeah.
Learned a lot.
Yeah.
Sort of. But
I watched some streamers who have never heard of play Mario Party for like 40 minutes because they had seats. Because I think that was that Friday, maybe. I think it was like my Friday break, and I was like, just gonna chairs.
Meanwhile, Nadia
Nadia is a gamer, man. Ooh. She is so
Nadia
excited.
Went so hard on PAX.
Yeah.
I genuinely I could not stop laughing because she was so excited, and that's just who Nadia is. She's can go a million miles an hour for like 24 hours, and she signed up for a tournament playing Street Fighter. And then she was like, guys, I gotta go. I'm about to start playing. And we were like, all right, like, go, have fun. And she comes back later and she was like, anyways, I won. And I thought she was kidding. I was like, didn't you just say you haven't played Street Fighter in like 3 years? And she was like, yeah, but I won. And I was like, oh my God. So it's just like, every time I thought about it, I was like, that's just so crazy. You just like wandered away to play with like people who go to like conventions like that aren't like casual gamers for the most part.
No, if they're lining up for the Street Fighter booth, they're probably Street Fighter players.
Yeah, and I was like, Nadia, that's insane.
And she used a new character.
Yeah, because she was
flexing
like, I didn't want to like play something that I knew. I wanted to like have fun and like, see what happened. And I was like,
she went and did the scavenger hunt and also found like all these prize booths to try to win an Xbox.
Yeah.
So. I didn't do a thing while I was there. No. I stood in line for food every day and bought a couple things. I blacked out and bought Frosthaven. I forgot to tell you, but I completely unpacked Frosthaven and I repacked it and got it 100% closed the first time.
It's pretty impressive.
I wanted a trophy, but there wasn't
pretty
one.
Good. That's pretty good.
There wasn't a trophy.
That was pretty funny when Andrew wandered back up, just like holding the giant Frosthaven box with like everything in it. And he just started giggling. And I was like, what happened?
It's like, how was your break? And he's like...
But yeah, there were some fun things. Like, I think I pretty much just like bought a couple of things for like family, my brothers, and was like, okay. I said hi to a couple of friends and then sat down.
That's fair.
Good con though.
Good con.
I wish we could have explored Boston a little more.
I think we did a good job.
We did a good job with the time we had, for sure.
Yeah. We went to Chinatown.
Yeah,
it was a fun
really
dinner.
Fun.
Shout out to Storyteller Squad.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you again
so friendly
for getting us out. That was awesome.
It was. I think we would have just gone to the Airbnb and done nothing that night if we didn't go get dinner with them.
That's true. That's what we did the next night and the night before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went to a Mexican restaurant in Boston. I was fully ready to clown.
You loved it.
It was fantastic.
It was good.
As Houstonians, cool Mexican food is abundant. So
yeah,
I think we are wary of it around the country. But Indy and Boston so far have brought the heat.
Maybe I just need to stop making fun of other large cities.
I think it's true.
Maybe so.
Because I walk in and I'm like, there's no way this is going to be good. And then we get there and I'm like...
You're almost mad at how good it was.
Yeah, in India, I was pretty upset about how good that
place was good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think as soon as we walked into the restaurant in Boston, I was like, okay. I'm not going to have a reason to dislike this place.
I got nothing else.
That's it. Yeah. There's a gift. I don't think we've ever... Oh, I should probably talk to the mic. But I don't know if we ever talked about this movie, but I hope you like it. It's a random book. It's like a graphic novel, but it's all the storyboards from Parasite.
The Parasite
It's like the real storyboards. So
I love this movie.
Awesome.
okay,
I
good.
love Bong Joon-ho.
Cool. And I know you like graphic novels.
Oh my god.
That's it.
That's fun. Why don't they do that for more movies?
Yeah, I don't know.
A24 does it for almost every movie.
Do
Really?
you have them?
No, but I bought them for friends as
Oh.
Mine
gifts.
is the Star Wars storyboard books are like some of my favorites.
The amount
I
of
kept them here
money
for so long.
the amount of money that I would give for Jodorowsky's Dune storyboards, like the
Dune
original ones that never made, like the movie never happened. Oh my god, I would give so much money to have one of those original copies. This is so cool.
Cool.
Thank
Good.
you so much.
I
You're
had
welcome.
nothing to do with it.
Oh my goodness. I love books.
Yeah.
I did Google like gifts for film people, and it was like plastic popcorn bucket. I was like, no. So I had to do more research.
Did y'all hear about the D20 shaped popcorn bucket that was?
I
did
given
hear
away
about
at
it.
the
My friends
D&D
tried to get
movie?
it when we
Still
all went to
going?
go see the movie. It was pretty
When
fun.
did
You saw it?
go?
Yeah, I saw it earlier this
Oh.
week. It was funny.
I feel like I asked you earlier this week, and you're like, "No, I haven't seen it." Maybe it was the day you saw it.
Maybe. I don't remember.
Maybe.
Time's not real to me.
That's fair.
But it was silly. It was a lot of fun.
That's good.
I need to message the Discord too because I think people have been talking about
Mm,
it, but I
yeah.
forgot to mention anything. Yeah, it was a good time. I had
Cool.
fun.
That's all you can ask for. The first one, my buddies and I went to see in the theater.
What'd you think?
It was terrible. It was.
Did
We
you?
felt cheated.
Oh no.
We were not old enough to be drunk. We were still in high school when it came
Yeah.
out, and so it was like, man, there was just nothing
Yeah.
enjoyable about it.
There you go.
It's pretty bad.
I'll say probably. There was one time Chris's friend, his birthday was coming up, and Chris asked me, he's like, "Hey,
Oh yeah.
he likes like D&D and tabletop stuff. Can you come up with some cool gift ideas?" And I think I went way too hard. And we're like,
You did great.
absolutely. And I sent like 6 or 7 different things. And I was like, yeah, you can also like Google this. And there's like different price points for these things. And then Chris, like a couple hours later, was like, cool, thanks. I got something different.
I just bought dice.
At all.
I was like, sounds good.
It was good. I'll treasure that information though. Maybe next year.
That's fair. I did
Also,
go pretty hard.
If I had more time, that a lot of the stuff was like small biz stuff.
Yeah.
So and then I was kind of like trying to get a quick gift. So yeah,
That's fair.
yeah,
Small businesses aren't great at last minute gifts.
yeah. So bad at shipping things. Not really. Not. It's out of our hands after. There's a 5-day business day turnaround.
I
I'm
feel
sorry.
like there's definitely going to be emails from people that stick with me.
I'm guessing they aren't the good ones.
One time, there was this guy who emailed so aggressively about shipping times, and he
Yeah.
was so upset. And it probably took us like 3 days to get the order out of the warehouse.
Yeah.
And I was like kind of laughing at how angry this guy was, and I responded and I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, you know, like it takes some time for us admittedly to like get everything roasted to order and blah 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 and like get it packaged. Like there's literally only like 6 people that work here. Like, you know, like let us know next time if something's urgent and we can do our best to accommodate."
Yeah.
And then the next email from him was like almost like it felt like it was like all caps excitement. So many exclamation points of like, "Oh my god, I didn't know you roasted to order. Like, I'm gonna tell every single person that drinks coffee that I know about your brand." And I was like,
Did we just become best friends?
I was like, we're not the only one that rose to order.
I think it is. Yeah.
Maybe we should say that more.
We should say it more.
I say it a lot, but I guess I'm the one
We
that's
say it at
answering
cons
emails
for
a lot.
sure. Yeah.
We'll put it on the website.
But also, yeah, we don't try to like go hard on the specialty coffee. Like, we try to make everything just easy and accessible. And
Yeah.
if you want to know more about the coffee, we can always tell you more.
Mm-hmm.
But also, coffee is just coffee. You can just drink it and add your cream and sugar and enjoy it.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. You can put it in your reusable K-cup. Have a good time.
Send it. Okay. Recommendation. The last segment. Recommend anything. What are you watching or reading or eating or...
I'm reading Dune right now,
Okay.
which is great. I think I've told you both.
The original? The one? Is it your first time?
It is my first time reading it, which is crazy because I care very deeply about the series and I know so much about it, but I hadn't read the book.
How is it?
It's so confusing.
Not as good as the lore.
Honestly, like, it's written beautifully and it's an incredible book, but it is like, even for somebody who like knows what happens and like knows these characters, I was like, I have no idea what's going on right now. I'll just keep reading, see what happens.
Yeah.
It feels very like what I imagine Game of Thrones to be like when you're reading it, of just a lot of names and a lot of things going on.
Yeah, at the time it was written, it was very contemporary in the sense that it went directly in the narrative without a lot of exposition. And so, like, you hear names and you hear about people and places and things and groups, and they don't explain what they are until later.
Which I appreciate. Like, I appreciate the like trust it demands from the readers of like, you will engage and you will continue reading. Because I think it takes a lot for an author to do something of the scale of Dune and like just trust that readers are smart enough to understand what is going on. But yeah, there are definitely parts where I was like, okay, I'll keep going.
How does Dune start? Is it the pain box? Is that like, it's like near the beginning, right?
It is. It's like within
the newest movie.
100 pages.
Yeah, it's pretty.
The movie starts pretty much there.
Yeah.
But in the book, it starts slightly earlier. It's more about like, what are we doing? I don't know what's happening. We're leaving Arrakis. That kind of stuff. But yeah, so I'm reading that. I'm also watching The Seven on Dimension 20. 10 out of 10 recommend. I don't know why I waited so long to watch this one, but it's a pretty good miniseries.
Neither of you guys are caught up with the new season of Mando, right?
No. I'm too scared.
Did you see anything about the newest episode?
No.
Like all the cameos in it?
I've totally missed Mando spoilers. I've dodged them all.
There's one that I think
This isn't
I saw.
really a spoiler,
That's fine.
but
Oh.
Jack Black and Lizzo are in the newest episode
Wait,
of The
that's
Mandalorian. I know. And they aren't the only cameos.
That makes the
in the
spoiler that I
episode.
saw make so much more sense.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I
I'm
didn't
not
realize
even
there were
gonna
cameos.
give you any more context than that. I knew Lizzo was in it going into it, and then Jack Black was in it too. And
So you recommend the new season?
I really like the new season, except this new episode is pretty silly. But Lizzo and Jack Black were in it, so it was okay.
I mean, if Jack Black's in it, what do you expect?
Yeah, I've been enjoying it. I've also been keeping up with Ted Lasso, which is just always like heartwarming and fun. And I'm finally watching Last of Us, which is really incredible.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to download a bunch of The Last of Us episodes and watch it on my drive.
Like while you're driving?
Yeah, I mean, my mom and I will be splitting.
Oh, nice.
That's
nice.
She does love you.
I know. My parents sometimes like me. So it'll be, but I got the idea because Kelly, who's a convention manager that we love hanging out with, she downloads movies. She said when she does really long drives across country, and she'll listen to the movies. And I was like,
That's a lot.
You're watching movies while you're driving, aren't you, Kelly?
in my head, I was like, it's not a terrible idea.
She's survived a lot of miles driving, so I feel like
She
whatever
has the
she's
authority
doing,
on safe
she's
driving.
doing right.
So, shout out to Kelly.
There you go. I don't think I have anything to
thing? Let's see. What have you
Overnight
watched?
oats. I've been eating overnight oats. You guys ever make overnight oats?
No.
Nope.
You take oats. I've put some almond milk, some yogurt, some chia seeds, some honey, some cinnamon.
And in the morning.
And in the morning, it's
porridge.
yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of
like
goopy.
goop, right? Yeah.
For me,
It's like putting on.
it's a texture thing.
No, it's not a good texture.
Anything like oatmeal, oats, kind
Yeah.
of. Even cereal, because I don't eat very quickly. So I feel like even eating cereal to an extent like makes
Yeah.
me a little uncomfortable when it gets
Every
really
once in
soggy.
a while.
and
I
mushy.
like cereal, but I do think there's a time limit.
I
on
almost
cereal.
never eat cereal, but every once in a while, like I eat it like in the evening, and I'm like, man, cereal's good.
I think overnight oats are
Cereal
slightly
is
worse than oatmeal, but because you make them at night
Do you warm them
and
up?
then you wake them up. No, I don't warm. Is that
Do
a
you eat them
thing?
cold?
I eat them cold. Well, I think
That's
in the
best
morning.
part of oatmeal to me is it's warm.
Yeah, I think in the morning it's like as few barriers as possible to eat. Like let's just get it. Let's just go.
Have you heard of fruit?
I put fruit on the overnight oats.
Oh,
Blackberries this week, they were on sale.
all right.
I also recommend blackberries.
Blackberries are delicious.
They're fire. I like how they kind of maintain their like structure because like raspberries get so squishy after a little bit.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Raspberries are good, but yeah, they get squishy so fast.
What's
that-
your favorite berries? Go.
strawberries?
Raspberries.
But I love all berries.
I like blueberries a lot.
I eat blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries most mornings of the week.
Along with your almond butter.
No.
So even strawberries, you have to cut the tops off. I guess you don't have to. You can just.
You could be a monster and just eat the whole thing.
I have heard of people eating the,
I've heard
the
people eating
leaves.
the whole thing. I've also seen the like complicated hack where you use a straw to like.
I'm not doing that.
Or you
Every
can
time I
just-
see it, though, I'm like,
You just
why
bite
don't you
them.
just waste?
No, that's
this-
what I could
Yeah,
just
yeah.
bite them.
Yeah, eat around it.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, just why can't you just slice off the top and waste that tiny bit of strawberry?
Because
Okay.
then I think of my mom telling me not to do it.
But I respect that, you know.
okay.
Remove as many barriers as possible so you can still eat something in the morning.
Yeah,
I get it.
because it's that or kolaches.
I love
As far as barrier goes. So
Let's see. What's on
Good
your
luck finding kolaches in Nevada.
What's on Chris's recent activities on Letterboxd?
I did just watch Talladega Nights. I don't know if I logged in or not.
If you're not first.
I love Talladega Nights.
You
It's
did.
pretty bad. Like it's really homophobic. I'm sure as I came
homophobic.
out, yeah, it's so
I
bad.
remember that.
Can I
Yeah,
read?
Sacha Baron Cohen is
Can I
like
read?
a gay F1 driver, and it's
that's
like
right.
really bad.
Can I
I
read
totally
Chris?
forgot about his character.
It's not good.
Let me read Chris's review.
Yeah,
4 stars.
sure. Agreed with that still.
Quoting this movie killed in middle school.
It's true. Yeah,
That's true. It's so kind of kills.
it's great. It's a great movie. It definitely set back some young middle school boys on homophobia, I think.
Can I read
When
your
it came out.
review of the Banshees of
You
Inisherin?
can review. We can turn this into Chris's letterbox.
I almost
podcast.
watched that movie with him. I felt like I was there.
It's really good. I loved it.
I liked it.
Chris's review, 3.5 stars.
Oh no, I did review it worse than Talladega.
3.5 stars. Toxic petty bromance that gains stars because Ireland is beautiful.
Dang.
It's true.
Cutting. It was very pretty. I watched it on the plane.
It's so
I watched Chris watching
Oh,
it on
pretty,
the plane.
yeah.
And it was
It's
very
pretty and they're petty.
I
could-
had
I
a
could-
really good time. I watched it with friends.
Yeah. No, it's
Oh man, I was about to
good.
read your Tar review. That's so long. I'm not reading that.
Tar.
I feel
I would
like
love to hear everyone's thoughts on Tar. Leave a comment.
I'd like to continue the podcast, but I'd also like another
Need
drink.
another drink.
Are we gonna pause?
We can,
Well,
we can just
or
drink.
we
It
could
sounds like Andrew just wants
end
to turn off the
podcast
turn off
so
the
that we can go
camera.
drink more.
Okay.
That concludes
Thanks,
me
everybody.
reading Chris's letterbox
Yeah.
reviews.
that's it. Episode 14 of the Many Worlds Tavern podcast. Good luck, Catherine. You're going to do good. We'll still be here probably.
I'll be around.
In a year, so.
I'll be around. I just need to leave Houston for a bit.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
Hopefully I'll be back.
You never know.
That's it. All right. Bye.